Here we are, episode
100.
We did it. We're real YouTubers.
Yeah! Well, we got to do something special, right?
We do.
So, why don't you say, oh yeah.
Bringing back the Snatch block.
Oh yeah, bringing it back.
Yep.
A lot of you like Snatch blocks.
A lot of you made your way to our channel through our Snatch block video, and we thought it only appropriate to bring them back again. And we're gonna do it 100% right this time.
Yeah, it's never right. So if you remember the last part of our previous video, episode 99, at the end we had a nice aerial shot of the property. We'll show you that now. You can see a lot of trees with no leaves. Those are all ash trees that have died or have been murdered by the boring beetle. I think it's the emerald boring beetle.
Yeah.
These things, they get into the bark and they just snake around and everything, and they eat the tree and just separate the bark from the tree. The tree dies and it's just a standing widowmaker. We're going to take those down with the pulley system. They're unpredictable if you try to fell them with a chainsaw. I'm not a great feller. I mean, I'm an amateur.
You've gotten better.
Gotten better. You know, I know how it works and all that, but not with widowmakers. Not going to chance that. I want to see my kids grow up.
We can do it a lot safer.
Yeah.
Being able to pull them down instead of trying to fell them. So.
Yeah, we'll put them where we want them. So we got one right behind us here. We're going to get to it.
That's tree number 1. We're going to take this one out first. We're going to try.
A little fun fact about our house site. So I'm on the back deck here. That's where the house is going. So house is facing north. Over here, Meg pointed this out to me the other day. I kind of forgot about this, but this log I was about to move, I'm getting close to anyway. I sat right here and Meg was right next to me, and we were sitting like this. This is where we called our real estate agent and decided we wanted this property. We were just looking right here, like, if this was the back of our house, wouldn't that be cool? And
yeah.
We called from right here, this old dead tree that's been sitting here. It's like the perfect sitting height. But anyway, a few feet away, we have this ash tree. It's leaning toward the house, so it needs to go. Before we start doing anything, we need to take the immediate trees that are threatening our house site. They need to go. And here, guys, this is exactly what I'm talking about here. Well, most ash trees, they become victims to these boring beetles. So you'll see these D-shaped holes all throughout all over the place. If I could find a nice one. This one right here.
This one right here.
Right here. They're not very large, but what it is, the beetle gets in there, they lay their eggs, and then those are the escape holes from its young. But they get in here, and look, this is what happens. The bark just... See all these little mazes, windy trails?
That's all from them.
Look at that. See on the bark itself? So they don't know they're killing a tree. They're just trying to make their civilization too. But they wind and wind and wind, and then all of a sudden the tree doesn't have its bark and it dies. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get the extension ladder that we brought up here and get it as high up as possible, really. And then we're going to take, that's gonna be a snatch block up there, okay? You have to start it at an anchor. The anchor is gonna be probably the bottom of this cedar tree here. Put it as low as we can. We'll go up as high as we can here. Wrap it around a snatch block and then go to another tree, the direction. That will be the end of it. So let's get this thing hooked up.
And I just want to show, I mean, in this area alone, we have quite a few trees to take out. This is another ash tree right here. You'll see the mushrooms growing on it. That one is dead. And then look at this over here. That one was dead too, still is dead, but it fell. And all these are gonna see the same fate, and we don't want them where we're living, obviously.
All right, hey, that worked well, look at that.
Yeah,
pretty
Willie.
Good.
Willie's been a good investment now that he works.
I bet we could put a couple posts here and just strap it to it, done.
We could use Willie to carry all the lumber up. This is great.
I think the skid steer will be used for that. All right, we got our extension ladder, and we have a really big aircraft kit with a nice long one if we need it. I don't know, we might just use our cords that we have.
Yeah.
That's like a good, geez, how long? Like 200 feet or something?
It's long.
All right. Oh, let's get this over there. Don't worry, Meg, I got it.
You're doing great. Oh.
There we go. Better?
I can't see it.
That feels better. I could do that. We keep our snatch block equipment in this, this rugged box. And there's more in this toolbox. I was expecting more in there.
Well, you have it so neatly arranged.
Huh?
You have it so neatly arranged.
That's why I wanted to show everyone. All right, here's our cables.
And what?
All different lengths.
But what diameter is it?
So that's a 3/8 inch cable. And I have one at 60 feet, another at 25, and the other one at 35. So we have all different lengths. We have a hook on one end, and these clamps on the other. I've been told many times, don't saddle a dead horse. And this is the correct way to do it, like that.
That is the correct
Now
way.
saddling means you're like, you know, imagine you're the cowboy and you just go up like this. You don't want this end of the wire cable like this one is.
This one is done incorrectly.
Incorrect, because you saddled this
The
is
dead
the dead horse.
Yes.
Okay, so this one is correct.
That one is incorrect as well. So we only have one right.
Oh, good. Okay, we'll fix that later. Okay, so in our kit we have all different lengths of cable. We also have shackles. These are 5/8 inch shackles. Little tip on these: when you get everything tight, don't crank this thing down. Get it tight and then just back it off a little bit. Okay, it's got plenty of threads to hold on for you. Tightening this all the way and then putting pressure on it this way, it'll kind of lock it in place, and then you're kind of...
They're hard to get undone.
It's difficult. So get it and then just back it off so it's loose a little bit. It'll make unhooking your rig a lot easier. And then we have, I think we have 5 snatch blocks. These are all the Badland from Harbor Freight. 20,000 pound working load. We haven't had one of these fail. So we got 5 of these and just various chain. That's how we pull things down. Where's the 5th?
Over there by the ladder stuff.
All right, and then I upped my game a little bit here, guys. I haven't used these yet, but I got some tree savers. Okay, this is just to wrap around the tree instead of using a chain. These are a little lighter and it won't kill a tree if you're using a live tree to use as an anchor. We got these that will hook into our shackles very easily. So I got 3 of those. I think that's about it.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's about it. Let's go hook this thing up, huh?
All right, let's gear up too. You got a helmet?
Yeah, I'm gonna put a helmet on.
Okay.
All right, guys, let's lay this out. Shackle, snatch block. Here's our strap. You could also use a chain if it's the tree you're pulling down.
We're showing you on this little tree here just so you can see how it's going to be hooked up, because you won't be able to see it up high on the tree we're actually taking down.
These are nice and long. Should be plenty. That's a big tree if you needed to.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so hook it to where you want on the tree. Goes through the shackle like so. Okay. Then your cord. You got to open up your snatch block. Slip it in there. Then the eye gets pinned like so. You just created one end of the cord goes to an anchor, the other is your pole. That gives you a 2-to-1. Now if you do this again, you multiply it over and over. These are compound pulleys doing it this way. And that's what we're going to do. So let's go hook it up on the real tree. Okay. This is the kiss shield. Look, show you how it works.
Oh, you're doing this again?
Go ahead, give me a kiss. Denied.
Oh, John. Alright, here's the cable.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. You're not hooking this to the tree. The cord just goes through the snatch block. It's not... This is going to be our anchor right here. Down low. Okay?
Yep.
All we need are one of those yellow things.
I'll go get one.
Okay.
There you go. This tree is coming out eventually anyway, but right now it's a convenient anchor.
Yes. Alright, let's wrap it around twice again. Just to shorten up the... Give it a nice choke. Alright, good grip there. Can we just hook to this?
Yeah.
Okay. Doesn't really make sense to put a shackle here, right?
No.
Okay. Alright. Be nice if that was... We'll just have to taut everything.
Yeah,
Okay.
that'll be fine.
All right, this one, guys, is just changing the direction. Right, you got to think about disassembly too. It'd be easier if you could unscrew it from the top. All right, now we're gonna pull it that way. The skid steer's we're gonna extend this line here with another cable, and then we're gonna drive off that way, out of harm's way with the skid steer. Okay?
Yeah.
Please hold through. Oh, thank you. All right, so my machine has these anchors, and that's got to be a 3/4 inch bar. That's designed to hold the machine down during hauling the machine somewhere. So it keeps it on the trailer. Okay, now I'm going to use both of them, and then that's going to be my tow point, nice and low. And the other nice thing that I thought about using the skid steer is that I'm in that enclosed metal cab, so there's a safety cage totally around me.
Yeah.
A lot better than being exposed on the tractor.
But we're gonna take it a step further. We're gonna put something on the line that's gonna be under tension.
Okay, that is a pulley. That's a snatch block up there. Okay, it's got a tree strap around it. So one end is here. That's the anchor. It starts there. The cord goes up, goes on that tree around the snatch block, comes back around, and goes to this tree. All the way over here. Okay, now that snatch block there is not giving me any mechanical advantage. It's only allowing me to pull in that direction safely. Otherwise, you'd have to pull it that direction. And the reason is you want the angle from which the first tree is. That's the first tree, and it goes up to the tree we're trying to pull out. You want that angle between that tree and the next tree as acute as possible. Smallest angle as possible to get the most mechanical advantage out of your pull. So they're pretty much in line. We're maybe like 4 degrees apart or so, but then that snatch block here is heading in the direction where I'm driving. I'm driving that way. The tree is going to fall. I'm going to estimate it's going to fall right on that pile of sticks over there. I'll be well a tree length away over there when this tree starts falling. Let's give it a pull. And then in between I put my chaps just to be a dampening device in case this cord were to break. Might not be a bad idea if any of you are out there just getting into this stuff. Instead of using this last cable as a metal cable, use some synthetic cable, because if those break, there's no slinging across the air at high velocities and essentially causing a big metal whip. Those things will just, they will break and they will become limp. There's no elasticity to them. So I'd recommend getting one of those. I think I will when I have an opportunity. Okay, and then we're hooked up to the skid steer. Here's this. I have a chain on both ends of the tow. I'd really like a hitch on the back of this thing, just for towing, but this will work. And then I got my Meg over here.
If you are just starting with pulleys, you might think the best way to do it is, this is your dead tree. Now, the mistake that we made, and I think a lot of people probably make when they try to use pulleys, is you think you tie a rope to this tree, your dead tree, and then go to an anchor tree and hook up a pulley and then pull. That is not going to do anything for you but just change the direction that you're pulling. That is the wrong way to do it. You do not want to do it this way, because what you're really doing is pulling out this tree. This is what you want to do. You want to start with your dead tree here, your anchor tree, and this is a change direction tree. This is the skid steer. Now, what you're going to do is start your line at the anchor tree with a hook, and then your line is going to go to the dead tree. Your pulley goes on what you want to pull down. This is a movable pulley. The only way a pulley is going to help you is if it can move, which means it needs to be attached to what you want to take down. So you attach to your dead tree, your strap, a shackle, the pulley, your line goes through that pulley, and then it goes to another tree to change the direction so you can be pulling in a safe direction. The tree is going to go toward your anchor tree and your change direction tree. So you want to be away from it. So this tree, you're going to set up the same thing you did here, but this isn't giving you any mechanical advantage. It's just helping you to be out of the way. So you have your pulley, your shackle, your strap, and then you're going to pull this direction because the tree is going to go that way. This is a 2-to-1 setup. Another thing to keep in mind when you have it set up like this is that you want your anchor tree and your change direction tree to be as close together as possible. The wider you make this angle, like if you had it going like to here and then pulling this way, you're losing more and more mechanical advantage. You need to have these be as close together as possible so you're going straight back in the same direction. You don't want to be pulling to like over here or like this way. The wider this angle, the less mechanical advantage you are giving yourself. So keep that in mind when you're setting things up. Obviously, when you're in the woods, you got to use what you got, and you can't move the trees to be able to use them as anchors. So you got to make it work, but just keep in mind, the closer together you can have these two anchors, the better. That took very little effort to pull down.
Yeah.
We forgot to move the ladder, so the ladder kind of fell, but I think it's fine. Yeah, the ladder's fine.
I think that's your dad's ladder. Sorry, Dad.
Sorry, Dad. It lives another day. It's fine.
It lives to die another day. You know, I did that on purpose. I was really seeing if the ladder was structurally
Stable
to build a house with. All right, that's still intact. The elm tree's still intact. This tree cracked at a rotten point, it looks like.
That worked great. I mean, it pulled directly towards the anchor. That's exactly what it was intended to do.
Yep, That's better than landing on the roof, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, guys, now we can safely chainsaw this off. Okay, we just have this stump left. We're gonna basically just cut it as low as we can. Here's the Krakatoa, guys. Look at what's going on in here. That's some kind of insect action. And I saw here, they had like a number of trails going through here. I don't think this is the wood. I think this is something boring. Maybe that's the beetle too? I'm not sure. But anyway, it broke at this rotten point. It still feels like it's good wood in there. So if, I've said this a few times on my channel before, if anyone has ash in their woods, it makes excellent firewood, even when it's a little rotten at this point here. This is not spongy or anything like that. I don't know if it's good for structural lumber purposes, but you can split this and pretty much burn it the same night. It has a lot lower moisture content than oak. Takes less time to dry. Doesn't have a lot of smoke. It's just got a lot of good properties for burning. It's a nice hardwood, nice and hot. So try to use it for that. We're going to. Can I have your paw? Thanks. You're a good girl. So next dead trees, we have this one here. And we have this one here. These things are at another rotten level. When you look up, and I know you can't see it from here, but there's a bunch of mushrooms like right here growing off. They're like a cream color mushroom. Kind of like a turkey tail type mushroom. They're not turkey tails, but they're kind of like that. Here, let's go take a look. Let's see what they are. They might be turkeys. When they're getting mushrooms like that, guys, it's really rotting and it goes all the way up. All right, we're underneath it here. Let's take a look which way we could go with it. If we use Meg's idea, it's gonna go that way and probably destroy this maple.
Bring the skid steer back.
I'm thinking we gotta change the anchors that way. Because these cedars gotta, Meg doesn't really care for these cedars. They look dead on the bottom. Then at the top, there's just a little puff of green. We're gonna change direction, go that way, Meg. Let it fall on this cedar group here, because this maple, if we use the existing anchors, it's gonna take off a lot of the branches.
Okay.
And I really like this maple. It's really nice and healthy.
So where are we putting in an anchor?
I want the tree to fall this way. There.
I was waiting for John, and I decided to rip off a piece of bark. Watch this. There's one of the beetles. Can you see it? Ah! He fell.
Are they green?
No.
What are they?
They're black. Those are like cockroaches. Those ones. Not yet. There it goes. They come down so easy. Two down. Countless to go.
All right, here's the tree we took out. And it cracked right there. That's fine. get a chainsaw on the rest here. And it fell pretty much directly at the two, and that's a good situation. If you could see the yellow right there and the yellow up there, that angle is like barely like 1 degree. So that's gonna give you maximum mechanical advantage. If they were further apart, like if I used this tree and then like a tree all the way over there, you have a bigger angle, that's gonna decrease your mechanical advantage. And I just have to say, you gotta work with what you got in the woods. Yeah, keep it in a straight line if you can, but if you're using anchors as trees, I mean, a tree is gonna be where a tree is. You can't, it's not always a perfect line like that. Sometimes you have to open up that angle. But just realize when the more you open it up, the less mechanical advantage it's gonna give you. And here's why we wanna get rid of these trees. Look how they just shatter. I mean, they're turning into cardboard. Look at these things. Still feels pretty strong actually, but it just doesn't look right. I mean, that is bone dry. And I mean, you could just tell with the mushrooms and everything growing on it. Look at that. Wow. Okay, good firewood right there, at least for the fire pit.
So we took out that one and we took out this one. Now we're gonna take out this one. It's got a lot of vines on it and stuff. That one needs to come down. We're going to anchor to this dead stump and this live tree here. And we're gonna pull it this way.
Where's the, okay, I see it. All right. I have the other cord on the skid steer already. These are a lot, some of them are stronger, some are really weak. I wouldn't want to be under, you know, under the tree with a chainsaw, because that one, I expect it to come out super easy. I almost need another pulley on that one. You just don't know. Unpredictable. That's why they're called widow makers. Right, Meg?
Yeah.
Yeah, baby. Let's see. Wow. They're all kind of cardboardy inside.
See, like, what is this? Look at this. What is that? Going through
A whole trail of whatever. I don't know. Those just growth rings? Any arborists out there?
What is this? It's like...
That looks like an insect snot. Or like a trail. It's elasticity.
Yeah, it feels like a rubber band. Here's another one. Look.
Yeah.
See, it's right on the edge. And then it went like this into... And there's more of them.
Wonder if those are eggs.
Here's another one. They are rubbery. Look at this.
Yeah. Interesting.
Now, I think this one's going to get pulled right into that tree and snap back.
Maybe.
So, make sure the ladder is well out of the way. Came down, actually uprooted it. Our anchor tree was a little too close on that one, so it actually pulled all the way until it was straight, and you don't want that to happen, but it worked out anyway. It was fine. This one's really big.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna need some more power on this one, John.
Come here, look at this. This is what happens when you let trees be your wire posts.
That tree was really small when that barbed wire was attached.
Yeah, look at the next one.
Oh,
It's an oak tree. Just grew right through it. All right.
Yep.
So guys, if you look at me, I cannot hug this tree. No. Yeah. Look, Nick.
Nope.
No. That's a big one.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm thinking we need a little bit more power than just 2 of the skid steer. We need 4 skid steers to pull this one over. And what that means, we're gonna set this one up similarly, but basically all we've been doing is one pulley that's like just one compound pulley. I don't know if you call it a compound pulley at that point, it's just the one pulley. So you have your anchor and then the snatch block on what you're pulling, and then you basically pull at that point. But if you take that end that you're pulling on and you create a whole other setup of compound pulley, that will double your force of pulling. So let's just show you and we'll explain how it's set up. The thing about that tree is that it's leaning this way, and these 2 trees are marked to come down because they're also dead ash trees and they're substantial size and they're leaning that way too. It is possible that this tree could maybe snap some of that scariness going on up there.
That'd be
or
great.
take one of these out depending on how rotten it is. So our plan is to spare this maple that's growing right next to it. Hopefully it'll just come down right here, just graze those branches and leave most of the tree intact, and then it'll hit these 2 twins here and they will come down.
We're gonna use these as anchors.
I might put a notch into this
so
one.
it'll go toward, that might not be a bad idea.
Why don't I get up there and get the strap on the tree, get that part rigged up, and then put a notch on it this way?
Yeah.
Just to help it a little bit.
All right.
Establish a hinge, and then we'll bring it down this way with 4 to 1.
Okay.
Okay, that works. We are all rigged up here, guys. Now these 2 are the 2 dead ash trees I'm using as anchors. Okay. Okay, everything starts on this tree here. Okay. This is just an anchor. Keep that in mind. So the first cable, this one, runs all the way up to the tree. The strap in the tree up there, there's a pulley up there. So it goes up and around, and then it gets to right here. See? So this end is coming from that pulley. So you have a pulley there, and then it comes here, and then you have a pulley here. Now this end is attached to that same anchor tree, and it goes around this pulley again, over this way, and it comes to right here. All this one is doing is changing the direction so I can pull that way. Okay, so now I'm going to add some additional line at the end of this thing, and I'll be able to get the skid steer well out of harm's way down that way and give it a tug. Hope that makes sense. This is a compound pulley setup.
All right, John.
And it allows you to compound your initial 2 to 1, which is up there in the tree, that strap. That's a 2 to 1 setup. You have an anchor and then a pole. The pole is pulled by an additional pulley. So 2 times 2 is 4. So we got a 4 to 1 setup here. Okay, so yesterday we tried a 4 to 1 setup on that tree, and I learned that that tree is a lot fresher, not as rotten as I thought. Now with a 4 to 1, if that was a rotten tree, that thing would have cracked somewhere and fall down, but that wasn't the case. It was bending quite a bit, and it was really straining the machine, even with a 4 to 1 setup. It was up about 15 feet up in the air, and we were trying to pull that direction, have the tree fall this way. So I thought about it. I didn't want to force anything. We stopped for the day. We were all getting tired. And this morning, I think the safest thing to do would be to cut a wedge in this tree. So all we're doing is giving that tree just a little bit of a tug this way to begin the fall, and then it would fall like you would normally have it, you know, during a tree. I just don't want to be anywhere near this tree when it starts moving, because there's a lot of stuff at the top that's dead. When we were moving it yesterday, it was like stuff was falling all over the place. So I don't want to be underneath it with a chainsaw when that's happening. So I'm going to cut a wedge, pull it that way at a safe distance, and hopefully the tree will cooperate with us today. So we stopped yesterday just to get a better game plan. I feel good about this. Meg, you feeling good?
Yeah.
There's metal. All I gotta do it kind of high.
Wow, John.
Field goal. It's good. How about that? And I thought, Meg, for convenience purposes, I thought it'd be nice if we stacked the broken one on top.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Good?
a big tree.
That's a big one. What do you think, Carmen? So now that this tree is down and it came down without cracking, we're going to put it to good use. It looks better than I expected. Not too much insect damage, so that's really good. I'm going to actually, a buddy of mine needs some 2x10s by 16s. This is ash. He really didn't care what species I was going to use it, but this is good enough to mill. I'm going to cut it up on the mill and show you guys what this thing looks like when I process it. Hopefully there's no bug. He doesn't care about bug holes, I don't think. Does he?
No, he's using it for his animals.
Oh, okay.
We've shown you Sugar and the sheep before. Same neighbor.
Yeah. So I'm happy to purpose it for that, and I hope that he's satisfied with it, because I really don't have a log that's big enough to spare, because we got to cut our own wood for the house. So, all right, we're gonna clean this up.
Okay.
Hope you enjoyed our 100th episode of Snatch Block Marathon. And seeing Meg, you know, dragging the chains around and stuff like that. That was cool. We will see you guys next week. See ya! All right.
Episode 100.
Is that 1 to them? Episode...
No, you have it backwards.
Do it. You got to do the 1.
That's an outtake.
It's totally backwards. Episode 001. Yep.
All right, let's try that again.
Episode 100.
That's so dumb. All right.
Did you say my fly's down?
Yeah.
Which one?
You have more than one? You want me to get it for you?
Does it bother you that it's down? What if it's down on purpose? Something smells good, like a sassafras or something.
It's me.
Oh, you smell like black licorice?
You never know.